Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest edition of the hashtag Clusterline. Nearly forgot what it was.
Time. And nearly two's quite apt because there's only two of us.
Yes, that's right.
Fortunately, our friends and colleagues are busier than us.
But yes, we're now referring to Sharon as the successful one.
Yeah, definitely.
Welcome to the hashtag Clusterline. I'm Mule from Mule Marketing.
And I'm Dave from Sector 40. There we got my name then.
It's not going well so far. I'm not going to lie. Without Sharon here, we're sort of.
We're off the tangent all the time. To be fair, tangents are good fun sometimes. Though.
Tangents are good fun. I'm gonna throw a curveball in there. I'm going to ask you a question. Where did Sector 40 come from?
Well, I was trying to think of an interesting name that's out there and hip and things like that when I started the company. I started it when I was 40. And there's been in there like mathematical things and things like that. Yeah. So the sector is a slice of a unit. So it's my 40th sector on this planet.
Right.
What I didn't do was my research after I did it though. Because Sector 40 is also an area of New Delhi.
Is it?
So I get quite a lot of contacts from people joining up from India.
Do you?
Yeah, so signing on to my social medias, but that's fine. That's not a problem. I mean,
so you become a social media marketing, but also a spotted page for Sector 40 news.
Apparently so, yes. So yeah. Never mind then.
People selling stuff.
Oh yeah, well we are. Just off the bat, I had a message through my website today.
Yeah.
This is going back to a couple of podcasts ago when we had bots.
Yes.
And someone, very, very well worded actually, very perfect English, grammar and things like that.
They're getting better.
Yeah, offering me between $100,000 and $300,000 a month as their budget for advertising for a company that does lingerie in America.
Brilliant.
Pretty sure they're not actually targeting me as a one-man band to give me $300,000 a month.
No.
To do that social media. I mean, if it is you, Luke, please reach out because, yes, I'm quite happy to do it for $300,000 a month, but I'm pretty sure it's a bot.
Well, maybe they picked up on what Sharon was saying. Like, you remember last time we were talking about, or time before we were talking about makeup branding and that kind of stuff. Maybe they've sort of the keywords.
Yeah, the joys of the algorithm searching out keywords, and they'll target me for that.
There you go.
There you go. But again, if it is you, then please contact me.
So next month's episode will be just me because I'll be referring to Dave and Sharon as the successful ones.
Yeah, I wish.
So today we're going to talk a bit about personal branding and why that's important.
Well, very important.
And why and what personal branding actually is. I think because it sometimes gets lost.
And especially gets lost for us.
For us
as social media marketers and these like that, we always tend to get our own. So.
Oh yeah, 100%. What was Kira's phrase? A bit of builder doesn't build his own home, or something like that.
Mechanics have always got the worst cars.
Yeah. Window cleaners
always look through your window.
That's the one. So personal branding. I think let's discuss why it's important first of all. What are you saying?
Basically, you realise, of course, you told me this subject literally 7 minutes ago.
Well, no, but I like to keep you on your toes.
They're definitely.
I'll talk about why it's.
I will join in.
Okay. So, for your audience, as you as an individual, so companies aside, businesses aside, you as an individual want to build a platform for yourself.
Correct.
Because historically and famously, people buy from people.
Yes, all the time.
So if people get to know you, they'll be interested in what you do.
As I always say to customers, behind the scenes footage and interviews are always far more popular commercial things. Because, as you say, people buy from people. People trust people. People don't trust companies.
Yeah.
They get to know companies, but they get to trust the people who work with companies.
Exactly. And it's not about building a perfectly curated influencer-style brand, unless that's what you want, of course.
Yeah.
It's about letting people know who you are, and that can range from just pictures and personal quotes, pictures of your family. If you feel comfortable with sharing that, just pictures of what you're doing, pictures of everyday life, videos of everyday life, all that kind of thing builds a whole picture of who you are and what kind of person you are.
I would say it doesn't have to be all work. No, you have to post things that's 100% work. You behind the scenes again. Photos that I quite often post on my business page of the dog that is growing up.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
Or a quick video. I've just recorded one down there from my TikTok page. I mean, that I was waiting for him. I mean, it's behind the scenes. This is what it looks like when it's finished.
Yeah.
There's a picture of me stood in front of a green screen with a microphone in my hand. Go peace. I mean, that's the thing that builds a personal brand as opposed to a business brand.
Yes.
People want to see who you are and who they're dealing with more than just what you do. I mean, what you do is important as well, especially for us as freelancers.
Yeah.
Because people need to see us and also the services we provide. So I post graphics when I've done them, videos, product photos, things like that. But I also post about my own life, what I'm doing. You don't have to post everything, of course, because that's what your own personal pages are for.
Yeah.
But as a company page, you do kind of want to do, I always say 50-50.
Yeah.
Half personal stuff, or behind the scenes, or even just going down the pub.
Yeah.
Here's me with a pint, relaxing after a hard day, grafting in front of the computer, that sort of.
Yeah.
But also do 50% of this is what I was producing, and this is what I've done, and this is what I'm doing in the future.
Absolutely. And it's important, again, we say this all the time, but consistency is very important. And so just taking a moment when you're about to do something interesting or engaging to just think, this would look good on my social media. It's getting in that mindset. Once you get in that habit of doing that, it becomes easy.
It becomes second nature almost. I mean, I had a meeting last week, as I was telling you about before we started recording. A friend of mine who's starting his own startup tech business. He was telling me what he'd been doing for the last 3 months. And I said, that's brilliant. Have you got all the stuff to the socials? So you've got, this is me at 3 o'clock in the morning in the cinema. I try to make sure that everything is right, make sure the subtitles are in the right place in the life from a video.
Yeah.
I said, no.
No.
Said, oh, you've been down to Bristol to sort out going to the film festival. It's like, did you do a short video on the train or walking through the gates and things like that to a film festival area? No. Have you done anything? Is the last 3 months I've not taken a selfie, I've not recorded a video, I've not written anything down, I've not done nothing. I was like, well, there you go. How do you expect people to see you on social media if you have nothing to post on the social media?
Yeah, exactly. And does he watch this, by the way?
Sometimes you do, yeah. Hi, Salon, if you watch it.
I was going to say you're throwing shade at your potential
Oh,
client.
I'll throw shade. It is fine. I'll buy him a pint to be all right.
Okay. What's interesting for me is that I've, for various reasons, I've been very slack at posting on social media recently. I've kind of taken a bit of a break from it, apart from the work I do for my clients. But for me personally, taking a bit of a back seat. And I did a first post in about probably a month last Friday or sometime over the weekend, and it got 1 like. So that's how it's dropped off.
It's how pushing it with us, yeah.
In just a month, he's stopped. I've stopped appearing on people's feeds.
Yeah, even though it doesn't always pop up because if you're not posting regularly, the algorithm doesn't show it to
Exactly
people's reactions.
It's almost semi-shadow banned.
Yeah, it's almost, yeah. It's a weird system that they run. It really is.
Yeah.
But so what's the answer to that?
Don't take a break.
Correct.
Yes.
Even if you just post a picture of yourself drinking a cup of tea in the morning. I mean, I always suggest that's a good thing for business anyway. Cheers.
Yeah. Yeah. Normally I post when I've been golfing.
But you always post when you go. You always golfing.
I'm always golfing. Yes, that's why. Yes. It was interesting. Is somebody said to me recently, or a while back actually, not that it matters, when in the space of time it was, You're always posting about golfing. I bet your clients love it when they see you're out on the golf course instead of working for them. I'm thinking, yes, I'm out on the golf course maybe at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but then come home and at 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the evening, I'm actually doing work to show you it's just about working smarter and using the daylight hours to do daylight.
Well, exactly. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. As a freelancer, you don't have a 9 to 5 job. Like, you can start at 9 in the morning, you can finish at 5 at night, but it's not going to happen. Yeah. Because then you finish at 5 o'clock at night, and then you'll go, oh, I just need to do this, do this. Oh, this email's coming through, it's urgent. And before you know it, it's 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, and you're still starting your laptop. Exactly. Your eyes are bleeding, and
and because we've got phones as well, you're never off.
Yeah.
You're never really off. I find myself often if I'm really busy working on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah, it's quite common. I mean, to be fair, sometimes I do ignore him when he messages me because I'm busy, and it's like, no, I haven't got time. I'll message him back in a bit, and I forget.
Blue tick. Left on red. The story of my life.
Left on red, that's right.
And what about building a personal brand if you're not a business owner but you're an employee? What do you think about that?
I think that's something you have to be a bit more careful of.
Yes.
Because these days, all employers will research a possible candidate for a job.
Yeah.
And everything these days is online.
Yeah.
So just beware. I mean, obviously, you're going to post stupid videos of yourself, because we always did.
Yeah.
You'll be drunk at a rugby club and have a tie around your head, skipping across the floor on your knees, that sort of thing.
Never happened.
But just be mindful that everything you put there, a potential employee will research and look at.
Yeah.
So if they got a cracking CV in front of them, because these don't know that, let's say cracking CV in front of them, these days most of them don't even look at CVs.
No.
They get someone else or a computer to filter it out and just fire off the 5 ones that hit keywords. But if they look at a CV, they go, oh, this person looks fantastic on paper, let's check out the socials. And it's you running naked, upside down in the bucket full of water. Or, I mean, these things obviously are funny, and it's your social media. If you choose to put it out there, you can, it's not a problem. But just be mindful that it's out there. Once it's out there, and people will find it.
Yeah.
There's no way of taking things down that's on the internet now.
I'm thinking on a more positive note. No, it's fine. It's a good reminder. But on a more positive note, I'm thinking on something like LinkedIn. If you're in it, so often people say, "Well, I don't need to be on LinkedIn because I'm an employee. I'm not a business owner." But actually, being on LinkedIn as an employee, if it's like a living, breathing CV.
Yes.
And portfolio of your work and what you do and who you are.
Very much so.
So with redundancies that seem to be happening often recently, I've got a couple of friends in that situation. If they've finessed their personal brand on LinkedIn, it makes them a better prospect. It puts them above the paper CVs, CVs of other candidates.
I mean, to be fair, it's a lot better. I mean, you need to really turn on your post to the other models, way we do. The most, yeah. It was, you don't start a savings account when you need money.
Yes.
That's very apt, and I was going to steal it, but I thought I'd leave it for a couple of months so I could...
Don't worry, I've got all your posts saved. I'm going to send you all them as well.
But it's ideal. Always plan for the worst and hope for the best.
Yep.
So if your LinkedIn profile is active all the time, you're posting about what you're doing, how well you've done, excellent projects, and these are 9 times out of 10, you'll find someone who'll actually reach out to you for your work. It doesn't happen to me very often, unfortunately. No. But as a personal brand, that's a cracking way to keep yourself active. And you never know, you might not be as happy in your current job, and someone reaches out to you and goes, well, we've got that position open, that'll be ideal for you.
Yeah.
You might find a better role, more money, things like that.
Yeah.
If you start from scratch when you're redundant, it takes a lot of building up. Because you're starting from the beginning, you've got no contacts, you've got no connections, you've got no photos on there, and you scroll back through your phone 10 years to try and get some photos of projects you've done. Like with all social media, little and often really does help.
Plus it looks like a dump of information rather than a sort of consistently over a year, 2 years, where you've been posting regularly about what you're up to, what you're doing, what projects you're working on, what companies you're working with, and your employer will be grateful. Obviously, you've got to be careful what you share, and make sure that it's within guidelines. But your employer will be pleased that you're promoting their business as well. So it's going to work in your favour, however you go about it.
Well, yeah, it's very true. I mean, don't forget also when you tag in companies, everyone that follows that company sees your post as well.
Yeah,
which is a great thing because I know I follow rival companies to see what they're doing.
yeah,
It's a social media staple to see what other people are doing, other companies in industries,
yeah,
to see how they're doing, what they're doing better, what they're doing worse, things like that.
yeah,
So if you're tagging in the company that you work for, saying, done this fantastic project, and then a competitor sees that and goes, wow, that's fantastic, let's offer them one way to come join us.
yeah.
It's always, I mean, you can always say, no, of course you can't get happy where you are, but you never know, a job's a job.
It is. I think that's what I remember from LinkedIn from the early days, that headhunting was a huge thing.
It was.
That was one of the reasons why it was first invented.
Yeah, I think now it's more business to business sort of stuff
Yeah.
than headhunting. But the headhunting still happens, I think.
Yeah.
That's a lie. 2 heads, we're quite happy to be punted.
Couldn't hear you. I'm fine. But yeah, that's true. So personal brand, good. Just be careful what you do with it.
Social media.
As with all social media, just because it goes out there, and once it's out there, it's out there. So just be careful. Tag lots of people in your posts.
Yeah. Hashtags. Always use urban hashtags. Don't just bombard hashtags. Do a bit of research.
Yes.
Just 10 or 12 if you want to on LinkedIn. Facebook's always five as yeah. I think I'm mad with the hashtags.
No.
LinkedIn has to put more on because there's just so many different subjects on LinkedIn and different industries. So, yeah.
That's it. There you go. Thank you for watching this episode of Hashtag Festival. I forgot to mention earlier that we're at the home of Sarby Vikings.
Oh dear, you'll be in football again.
So thank you to them for letting us use their venue, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Cheerio.